Hi, this is an example of my standard British accent. I'll just go through the play I did at university called Our Country's Good. And there's a character, an upper-crusted British officer, just removed from the army, now retired, still very much in that whole tradition of old England. And he would very much like to stay there, certainly if he could. Of course he can't. Has trouble adjusting to the new way of doing things. Again, this is my example of a crusted Englishman. Now, when do you leave an authority? Now, this is my a little bit exaggerated example of an Irish accent. I used this very briefly for a time, not quite living in Los Angeles yet, but I was about halfway there, about in Utah, somewhere around there. And a beautiful play I did, it was called Which Way We're Going, and that's very much how I felt while we were doing that. Which way was I going? I didn't know, but again, I did do the Irish accent, and it's a little bit exaggerated. It's a little bit more like a leprechaun accent. I don't really know if it would offend many Irish speakers, many Irish natives. I don't really know. Now, first we're going to go a little bit more in twang. This is more Texas, more Panhandle, Oklahoma, maybe even get up to Tennessee. I don't know. But again, I would call it Texas. Texas is its own district, its own region. You just call it Texas. It is the second largest state in the Union. Biggest state in the Union, except for one state. That state is bigger than Texas. Now, if you really, now I say this one time. Now, if you really want to spread it out and be like Battery, Alabama, we could do that too. We could definitely do that and be like down in Georgia, the Georgia boys, Georgia. This is my example of it's a little bit different, son. It's a little bit different than the Texas. Texas is a little bit of twang, but there ain't no twang. This is Southern. This is down home country time. Alright, this is my example of a Southern. It is a little bit different than the Western. Western's up here. Southern's down here, boy. With Southern boys, they talk like this. Usually when people, let me do my real voice now. Usually when people ask me to do, an English accent, I say, what kind? Is it a role that maybe someone like Michael Caine might play, Sonny G? Is it that sort of English accent that you're looking for, region-wise? Someone like Michael Caine might talk. Well, it's a little bit more like Liverpool, maybe Ringo. Liverpool have a little bit different region of the talking. It's very unique, actually. But it is technically English, but you could say, it's anything. And they just talk up, just about every other sentence talks with you go a little bit up, and that's basically all you do there. Now Scottish, no, I don't think so. I can't do Scottish. I'd like to, but I can't do it right now. So I'm going to work on it for a couple more years. I don't know what that was, but I'm going to work on it. I watched the movie Trainspotting about 20 times. This is my example of Mickey.
Hi kids, this is Mickey Mouse. This is your old pal Mickey Mouse. Hi kids, this is Mickey Mouse. This is your old pal. This is your old pal and friend Mickey Mouse. And boy, I hope you've subscribed to my newsletter today, because I really need the cash. I'm just a struggling mouse in the Disney Corporation, and by golly, they don't pay me that much. But with your help, kids, I believe they could.
And then we go back to James Mason, and he talked very much like this, and he was an Englishman trying to disguise his English accent to be able to work in the American Hollywood system. But Whenever English actors try to disguise their Englishness, it always passes off as something very floppish and very odd. Games, must we, Mr. Kaplan? Something like that. Another example of someone who was born English, moved to the United States to pursue a career in Hollywood, would be Cary Grant. He really desperately tried to disguise his accent, his English roots. Didn't come off very well. It was something of a cross between a hammer and a duck.